After an injury-filled season for Liverpool, they managed to fight through it and have a good end to the year and get themselves into top four, remaining in Champions League football. But they're going to have their own challenges with this year upcoming. One, due to a lack of spending, and two, due to the fact that they are going to lose many key players during the AFCON tournament throughout the season. And so they're going to have their own struggles to deal with. They're going to have to reintegrate some guys back from injury and have them get some form and see if they can battle themselves into top four again in what is going to be a tough battle again for top four, with those top five teams most likely being the same contenders as last year. With that being said, I will give it off to Lane now to give his thoughts on Liverpool's transfer window or lack thereof so far, and what he feels Liverpool could do in this upcoming Premier League season.
Well, Liverpool haven't really done much on the arrivals so far, bringing back Harvey Elliott from loan and Ibrahima Konate, who was really there a couple months before the season really ended. That was already confirmed. So for me, they haven't done anything this summer. Look at departures. For me, they've lost probably their best midfielder in Gini Wijnaldum, the Dutch captain, the Dutch leader. Losing Wijnaldum is a massive loss, and not getting any cash for him back is really a it's bad for Liverpool, to be honest. They should have gotten some money back from letting him walk on a free is bad business for any club. You can't let players of his quality leave on a freeze, and they have to on the best clubs in the world. Wijnaldum is the Dutch captain. He is Liverpool's one of their best players for me, creative wise, winning balls back, setting things up for the front three, front four. And I think without him, you're going to see a big loss in that midfield. And losing Harry Wilson isn't much of a loss. You're still getting some money back for him. Marco Grujic, getting some money for him, obviously on a loan deal with a buy option. But arrivals, like you said, lack thereof. They've only brought in Ibrahima Konate, and he was brought in quite a bit before the window. And for me, he isn't really a signing that you look at during the window because he was brought in so soon. So for Liverpool fans, they haven't really seen much happen. And when I look at Ibrahimo Konate as a signing, he is exciting. I would have taken him at my club before we brought in Varane, but Ibrahimo Konate has had a lot of injuries. He is an injury doubt, an injury worry. So I just don't understand why they're bringing in another center back who is worried with injuries. It's a questioning one and confusing a bit, but it is a very poor summer from Liverpool so far.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one with Konate. Like you say, he is injury concerned. Obviously, a solid center back when healthy, but even still, he is going to be the fourth choice center back on this team, you would presume, behind Matip, Van Dijk, and Joe Gomez. Now, of course, Matip is going to miss a bit of time, and so he will need to be used a little bit more than when he has gone to the AFCON tournament. But outside of that, he's not going to feature all that much in this team, I can't imagine, given the likes of the Champions League and the quality needed in that tournament. They might not even use him that much there, and they might decide to cycle three center backs instead of four if rest is not needed at such a high level. And so, sure, it's a good signing. He'll give them some good depth. He can be used as rotation. He can be used when Matip is gone to the AFCON tournament. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about we need quality, we need depth, it probably wasn't the signing that needed to be made, because either A, if you're signing your fourth center back, you don't need someone necessarily of high quality if you're not going to spend that much. And B, you could argue they definitely need some depth in other places. Their attacking depth is still a bit questionable. They've been looking to improve that throughout the summer, and they still haven't done it, and they now only have 2 weeks left. Of course, you mentioned that they lost the likes of Gini Wijnaldum on a free, and they're going to really struggle to replace that quality that he brings. Now, they do have some other competent midfielders in that team, but as you mentioned, I don't think anybody else does the job that he does as well as he does. The true box to box, he's a leader on the team. He can win balls back, produce in creative ways for the front line. He's just a very solid box to box, do it all type of midfielder, and I don't think they have someone quite at that caliber that can do that job there. And so it's definitely a weird way to go to spend all of your money so far in the window now with only 2 weeks left on a fourth choice center back, when there are definitely a lot of concerns that are still on this team from a depth standpoint. It's interesting. There's no doubt about it. But nonetheless, that's what they've got. They've re-signed a lot of players this summer. I will give them that. I'll give them where the credit is due, and they've locked up a lot of core players, and that is important. But they definitely are lacking in depth, and that is really when it could come into play, when the likes of Salah and Mane especially are going to be gone for the AFCON tournament, because after that, their attacking depth does struggle. They'll still have Firmino, they'll still have Origi, assuming he doesn't get sold, and they'll have Diego Jota, assuming he is healthy. But after that, it gets pretty thin. Shaqiri is likely to be sold. Of course, they've been linked with someone like Jared Bowen. Maybe they'll look to bring in an attacker, but they're definitely going to be thin up top in and around that time. And they're just thin, period, if anyone picks up an injury. And I think that's the biggest concern I have with Liverpool, and why you can definitely make the argument that Leicester could make a push in over Liverpool for that fourth spot. Now, this is still a very good team, one of the best teams in the Premier League when healthy, but I think it has to also be considered that there's still a lot of concerns when you look at this Liverpool team and how they could get through this season.
Yeah, I do think Leicester could easily jump over Liverpool. If you look at Liverpool's squad, they don't have the depth of Man United, a City, or Chelsea. Like I said, it's scary with their front four, their front three, really. You look at Salah and Mane leaving when it comes to AFCON. Then you're looking at the likes of who Klopp is relying on. He's thinking of Minamino coming back. He has a lot of faith in him after his Saints spell. He's bringing back Harvey Elliott, who a lot of Liverpool fans and Klopp has a lot of excitement around. But those guys, are they really going to be able to fill the shoes of Salah and Mane as they're going to the AFCON? Harvey Elliott, we're really not sure if he can still cut it at the top level. We've only seen him championship level. So can he cut it? I guess we'll have to see. He's still 18 years of age. You can't put a heck of a lot of pressure on him. Then you're looking at Shaqiri, who's likely to go on to play for Lyon, already agreeing personal terms. Still a fee to be made between the clubs. Then you got Divock Origi, like you mentioned. He isn't likely to leave. He is in a three-team race between likes of Crystal Palace, Wolves, and West Ham. A lot of Liverpool fans don't rate him, but he still is a favorite of Jurgen Klopp. So there is a lot of question marks around this Liverpool attack, especially if the AFCON. You're going to be relying on Jota, Elliott, Minamino. So everything's up in the air with this Liverpool attack, and I just don't think they have the depth of those front three teams in the title race.
Yeah, certainly. There's definitely a lot of questions around the depth of Liverpool, especially in that front line. I do personally have them finishing in fourth for this upcoming season as of the beginning of these season preview videos, but it's definitely not a shoe-in. Even if they do remain healthy and don't have the injury concerns of last year, I still could see someone like Leicester making a push. I think that during that AFCON tournament, when they are going to have those key losses, it is going to be a big adjustment for them, a big struggle to get goals in the back of the net. I think it's going to be an interesting time to see how Liverpool fare and how they can push for top four this upcoming season.
Yeah, I got Liverpool falling into fifth place, a spot after they were last year, and Leicester would just jump over them with the AFCON really affecting Liverpool.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how Leicester fare this upcoming season. A lot of questions, a lot of concerns that are fairly reasonable for this Liverpool's team. Still a very strong side, but if a few things go wrong, it could definitely become pretty ugly pretty quick at certain times throughout the year. That being said, let us know your thoughts down in the comment section about this Liverpool team upcoming season and their transfer window so far. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to hear our thoughts on other Premier League season previews, then be sure to click the box on the right hand side of the screen. That being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will see you guys in the next one.